I'm really sick of the parents in my life complaining about the type of child they have and saying they didn't sign up for this, when parenting is basically buying a mystery box that they knew had no refund policies. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lives on Reddit. Don't forget to subscribe to be a for lifer. When you have a kid, you basically purchased a mystery box with it being made clear that there were absolutely no returns or exchanges if you didn't like what was in your box, and that you were responsible for raising whatever is in your box, and that you have a legal obligation to care for them until 18, and a moral obligation to care for them for life. You knew that there are rare boxes that have the next NBA, NHL, K-pop, whatever superstar, some boxes with the geniuses who will end up doctors and lawyers, a lot of boxes that are standard, healthy neurotypical child with a normal age-appropriate challenges, who isn't that brilliant but isn't hopeless either, who will grow up to have an okay but not brilliant life, and some boxes that will have kids with severe disabilities, kids that grow up to be addicts and dropouts, kids with severe ADHD or OCD, etc. You were also made aware that the contents of the box might not suit you or your lifestyle. It might be like getting a frilly dress inside that you have to wear for 18 years when that is not at all your style, or getting a very plain and shapeless outfit you have to wear for 18 years when you are someone who likes to dress up in fashionable clothes, or getting a very sporty kid when you hate sports, or a musical kid when you'd rather jump off a ledge than listen to piano practice for hours a day. You were told that there is no guarantee the contents of the box will suit your personality or lifestyle. You might be lucky and get something that really fits you, but you also might not. If you don't, you have to find a way to work it into your life anyway because no refunds or returns. You were reminded of the no return policy several times and given every chance to back out before buying a box. By continuing a pregnancy or using IVF to get pregnant with the intention of parenting the resulting child, you bought the mystery box. I'm not such a heartless monster that I don't have empathy for the challenges of having a special needs child, and I think disability services and respite availability needs to be significantly improved. But I'm sick and tired of hearing, I didn't sign up for this, or this isn't what I asked for, when they knew that not every box was a future superstar box, or a genius box, or even a standard box. You knew that the special needs and challenging boxes existed. I understand you thought the odds were in your favor, but you knew you were not guaranteed not getting a special needs or challenging box. Yet, you still bought a mystery box. So stop acting like you were misled or sent the wrong product because you gambled and lost. You were warned. You bought a mystery box anyway. If you couldn't handle every outcome, you shouldn't have bought one given that you knew all about the no returns policy before pressing confirm order. Some people are addicted to loot boxes, unfortunately. Like the kinds of people who have 10 girls because they were hoping for the one born with male genitalia edition for their collection. This almost describes my family, except my parents only had to have 5 girls before they got their golden calf, son. Sadly, it was always obvious that I was an extra child and that if they had given birth to a son first, I would have never been born. It wasn't about wanting me or any of my sisters, it was about pumping out kids until they got the boy they had always wanted. Breeders who still choose to reproduce mid-GD global pandemic are not only idiots, but are full-on selfish freaks who don't care about anyone but themselves. There, I said it. I've never met anyone more egoistic than this particular group, who chooses to have kids now. Chooses is a key word because it is a choice every time. Unless you were assaulted, of course, then this conversation would be entirely different. Because of this lovely choice of breeders to reproduce right now, people like myself are dying by the thousands, and nobody gives a crap. Because babies deliver now. They get the priority. They're more important. And thus, all the surgical time in the day that was booked for so-called elective procedures, I'm laughing at this elective thing, since without getting my surgery in particular, I'm looking at a constant in and out of the hospital life, endless medication just to get through the day, severe chronic pain, inability to work, very little quality of life. Many like me end up taking their own life because the end of the tunnel never comes. I just read a horrible article about a girl younger than me with the same disorder who took her own life because neither her GP nor the ER doctor believed her when she said how much pain she was in. They labeled her as drug-seeking and sent her home. Post-mortem autopsy, turns out everything within her pelvis was absolutely trashed by scars, cysts, and growth. She needed a hysterectomy like years ago, but this was allowed to happen because doctors still don't believe women in pain for the most part. When it comes to pelvic issues, especially for women who come in disheveled, messy hair in a bun, whatever pajamas or a comfy robe, clutching a blanket and a barf bucket. Because in the middle of a dang medical emergency, you don't exactly have the time to gussy up enough to look decent. My survival takes priority over my looks, no? I've overheard nurses laughing at myself and this other female patient that we looked like homeless bums, just literally what typical drug addicts look like. Perfect representation of withdrawal, not even caring what you look like, within earshot of me. They wanted us to hear them. Thanks so much for that comment, ma'am. Next time I'll rather die than have to ask for your help. This is the true extent of how much the medical community ignores us, like we don't matter, like we are homeless bums just here to score pain meds. Like until I'm in labor, I don't matter and don't deserve help with my pelvic pain. This goes for every young woman, say under 40, who presents with severe pelvic pain. Every single one. I've yet to come across a female patient who hasn't been disregarded and told to go home because there are actual pregnant patients who vomit so much it causes them pain. You're not pregnant. You won't understand what pain is actually like until you are. I'm talking every woman, at some point in their life, was treated like her hypothetical reproductive abilities of herself or others are more important than what they're currently going through. People like this keep waiting for years for their procedures, but keep getting pushed back again and again and again until some just can't take it anymore, all because baby is delivered now. Look, I get it. Some situations are critical, and to save mom and baby, they must perform a C-section. But if you have previous health issues, that will most likely end up in a C-section delivery. Overweight, diabetic, slightest bit of doubt that you won't be able to deliver naturally. Maybe don't have a baby in the middle of a pandemic when hospitals are legit closing down and rerouting everyone because the load is just too dang much. Nobody's denying you the want to have kids, but maybe wait a year or two, no? And if you can't wait that year or two, maybe having kids isn't for you. But no, that's apparently discrimination pushing on eugenics. Again, pandemic means limited or time for the surgeries on the best day. The way they clean and restock surgical rooms during the epidemic present is way different and a lot more time consuming. They might only be able to run 1 or 2 operation rooms like that and have to shut down the others because the 1000th time pandemic. Also, not every surgeon will even choose to operate mid-COVID, and they're dang right, especially if they have vulnerable family at home. Surprise! Surgeons are people too, and can only work so much in the given conditions. They aren't a machine that can stay on shift 24 hours and take care of the electives once all the dang bratlins get delivered. But no, it's on the medical community to save them and have the staff and resources available. And if the hospital is less than a doormat that licks their behind and jumps at every drop of their call, someone they can entirely wipe their feet on, they like to sue and scream about how they were mistreated by having to wait. Who cares if someone in the next room was having a heart attack, bleeding out from an open bone fracture, cancer patients who blew a tumor, someone having a stroke or a seizure, and now they die because babies deliver now. And apparently all those patients can wait. This means people who are severely injured from, say, a car accident get to wait for hours, if not days, to get any sort of treatment or even pain medication at times. I had to wait once for 12 hours, even after passing out in the waiting room multiple times. The triage nurses would kind of just scoop me back up into my chair, give me water and a barf bag, and tell me, sorry, I know you weren't well, but there's nothing we can do until you see a doctor, which might be a while still. What was I to do? I couldn't even walk by that time. All I could do was wait and faint in and out. They still couldn't bring me in because they were just too dang busy, despite the fact that I was literally crawling to the bathroom to go through a pad every 15 to 20 minutes and was barely conscious by the time they got me in. This is how overworked and overbooked every hospital is. The ICUs are overloaded. There is no surgical time. The lab is barely running, with the absurd amount of work dropped on them hourly. But still, why not have a baby now? Great idea. Forget everyone else. Clearly, breeders deserve the operation room time a lot more than those who have been waiting in pain for years. Nobody else matters but you and your baby. Edit, y'all, Oh my freaking god. I could have never imagined my rant would get so many people hearing me and getting all these cute huggy awards. I feel so heard and validated. Frick anyone and everyone who ever said this group was toxic. You literally are my friends, brothers, and sisters. Y'all help me feel heard at the lowest of times like no one else does. I can speak my truth here, spill my anger, and be heard and loved. Thank you for reading and most importantly, hearing me out. The medical community needs to do so much better with women like myself. So much better. Let us be the chant that propels it further. Blessed be everyone.